Hello, everyone. I'm Josemary from Molecular Cloud, and today we're meeting with our July sponsorship winners, FCB UANL. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, guys. How are you?
Hi, I am
Hi,
Rogelio,
thank you.
and
Oh,
my teammate is Alejandro Solis, and we are to give a short presentation about our project, so you can know what are we working on. So as is, if you just Mary give us the instruction, we may start. I don't know, Alejandro, you want to say something?
oh no, everything's good. Just let's start.
So can we may we
Yes,
start?
yes, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And I don't know if you can see the presentation.
Yes.
Okay, so Alejandro, do you start?
Well, we're part of the iGEM FCV UNL 2020 theme of iGEM. We are working, well, we're going to explain our project. The next, please. Well, we're from Monterrey, Mexico. That is a city on the north of Mexico. We have a very arid climate, so we take this as an inspiration to our project because we have a very high problem that is the forest fires. So this is the principal thing why we took this, and we are working to to give a solution for this.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about a little about the firefighting. In well, both of the climate and human activity has caused a really big damage to the environment. In this case, more than 36 wildfires since 2019, more than 189 species at risk, and more than 700 hectares affected. The fire extinguishers that are the tools used by our firefighting men, they contain fluorosurfactants. These molecules help them to create a type of foam, but as I mentioned, fluorosurfactants are non-biodegradable, are pollutant, are toxic, and are ecologically accumulative. So why is our project useful? Well, the usefulness of our project resides in the fact that it offers an affordable and possible solution to control forest fires. In this case, the high demand of these foams, the fluorosurfactant foams, make them a high cost, and they are not available to all firefighting men. So our foam it's intended for it to be affordable, cheap, and non-toxic. So our foam, as I mentioned earlier, it tries to be biodegradable, responsible, sustainable, affordable, and cheap. By this, we can complete the three main objectives of the United Nations organization. In this case, the nine, that it's industry, innovation, and infrastructure, that it's the 12, responsible consumption and production, and that it's the 15, life on land. So in short words, our project that it's biologically inspired has four main component groups: a foamy agent, a biosurfactant, foam stabilizers, and other type of foam stabilizers. The first one and the second one, that it's the ranaspumin 2, that it's the foamy agent, and the several ranaspumins, that are the foam stabilizers. They come from a frog, in this case a local frog. By using synthetic biology, we're going to get those sequences from gene banks, and we may produce them in E. coli. And the biosurfactant, in this case it's the surfactant, and the foam stabilizer, that it's the biofilm, we're going to produce them in Bacillus subtilis. By this, we can create a biological foam that can fight fires. So how are we are going to produce these recombinant proteins? As I mentioned earlier, in this case, we're going to obtain the genes, the ranaspumin 2, 3, 4, and 5 from a gene bank, and we're going to introduce them to Escherichia coli for us to have these ranasplumins by using recombinant methods. And how are we going to control and regulate the production of biofilm and surfactant in Bacillus subtilis that it's naturally produced? Well, we are going to engine a natural gene network. In this case, we are going to produce several genes that are PHRC, SIN-I, and ABA-A that are going to permit us to regulate and to increase the production because they act as a natural repressor of the repressor of these products. So how are we going to do the measurements? In this case, well, my classmate is going to, well, my teammate is going to explain
Yeah.
this.
So we have to be very sure about our form, that our form is the best that we can make. To make some simulations about some physical parameters. See, there's some parameters of the foam that we are going to use as the density, the viscosity, the radius of the bubble, the initial and final soft extinction, the amount of surfactant produced by the ranaspumin 2 and surfactant. These are very important parameters because in our model and our simulations, these are going to give us the kind of foam that we're going to make. So we're going to change all these parameters and we're going to play with this to see how can we do it in different ways to make a better or a better foam. Next. So we're working to end biosafety with 4 principal components. So that is the biocontaminant, the risk analysis, the fire safety, and the public engagement. This is very important because, as you know, it's important to all the people that it's going to use the foam, and as the companies and the people that it's going to be used it. So we have to be very sure that our foam is safety. And we're working in humans practices too. We're working a lot of work here, and same thing in 4 principal components. The safety in our society, we want to learn to the people what is important that they know about how to control a fire. We're working with education, with psychological factors, because we don't know a lot of information about what happens with people when they after a fire, when they fight a fire. So it's a very important thing here, and we're contact with stakeholders to make us sure that our project it's going to the correct way, and all this confirms the human practices, and we're working a lot in this.
So just to add something, we also are focused on synthetic biology education, as we use Dana the Frog or Dana la Rana in Spanish for us to do like scientific divulgation, and can teach the different people, the ones that are going to buy the product and the ones that are going to authorize it or something like that. And we also do an analysis on psychological factors that are applied when a fire starts. So we contacted with a psychologist, and he explained us a lot of things that are going to it's are important for us to consider as the psychological factors. And here we have the different organizations that have support us in different ways, and we want to deeply thank, in this case, GeneScript, for because they support us with material and with money that can help us to buy more material for us to develop this project and to solve a little problem that has a big impact in the environment. So I don't know if you have a doubt. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for us if fans have questions.
Thank you for that presentation. It was very thorough, and I really appreciate the breakdown of each step of the process. So, you mentioned at the end that this requires smaller steps, but will have a big impact. How much of an impact do you think this product could have across the globe, especially in the last few years with climate change and the surge in wildfires that we've experienced?
I think that it's gonna have a very big impact because as we can see the last year in Australia or in Brazil, this is a very big problem in the world. And well, we're thinking this on Mexico to put it here on our city, but this is not just like here in our country. This world is happening in all the world. And if we can use this and it's better than the other kind of pumps that are on the market, it's going to I think it's going to be very useful.
Yes, and as you mentioned, global warming is going to cause more natural fires. So we need to prevent the first step, that it's the fire itself. But as our own foam has the capability of being ecological friendly, we are solving the second steps, that it's the ecological contaminations, the ones caused by the fluorosurfactant foams. We are trying to achieve more and more in solving the problems that are with the solutions we actually have.
Excellent, Alex. Excellent. I think that's brilliant. You mentioned that one of your goals for this product was eco-friendly and sustainable, and affordability is a very big factor in developing this product. What about, for example, for industrial application and manufacturing, what is a specific part of this production that would make it so affordable?
Well, we as the level of organization we have, like it's being applied in a lab. So in the first steps, it might not seem like affordable, but when we apply it to industrial applications such as bioreactors and big production chains, we can reduce these costs. And in those times or in those months, we may have like a smaller cost and affordable than the ones we are facing now.
One important thing here is why are we trying to doing these simulations? Because if we find the good concentrations that we have to use, we're not gonna have to spend a lot of money using a lot of quantities of surfactant or that kind of stuff. Just the correct concentration of each component gonna give us the best kind of foam, and this is very important for the cost. So we're working a lot of that.
I see. So the precision of each material needed adds to having a more cost-effective process.
Yes.
Yes,
I
and to
see.
increase the efficiency and all those things.
Okay, awesome. My last question then is, you mentioned that part of your project is psychological education about dealing with fires. Can you share with us a little bit more about what that education is composed of?
Well, yes, our education it's focused on different areas. The first one and the major one is the synthetic biology, because we know that when people hear about a GMO and a synthetic biology product, they have a fear. So we're trying to educate in a lot of people in these areas for them to be more open mind to different process. So in this case, as I mentioned, we're using Dana La Rana or Dana the Frog to educate the smaller and the bigger ones to to accept, in this case, synthetic biology. And answering your question, well, during this psychological study we made, we contact with a psychologist, and we asked how the people during a fire should act, because we know a lot of protocols and they teach us in school. You need to be like covering your nose and all those things and be low, like in height, and you need to get close to the windows, but we are never teach how to physically and mentally act during a fire. So we are trying to study and to work on that.
Okay. I think that sounds like a great initiative. Do you have anything you'd like your audience to know about your project?
Well, I don't know, Alex, do you want to say something?
Oh, can you repeat the question, please?
Do you have anything else you'd like your audience to know about your project?
Well, I don't know. I think that's all the
So,
project.
we are very thankful for the support the audience and you as a business and industry have helped us, because you support like the small projects that are going to have like a big impact, and it's really nice for us to work on a global solution, starting from a local problem.
Awesome. Well, it's definitely our pleasure at Molecular Cloud and GenScript to be able to sponsor your project. It's definitely going to have a very large global impact, and we're so happy to support you. So thank you so much for meeting with me today to talk about your project. Good luck in the iGEM Jamboree. And again, congratulations for winning our sponsorship.
Thank you very
too.
much.
Okay. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.